Okay.
Now I will discuss positive punishment. First, I will define positive punishment. It is a presentation of a stimulus or an increase in the intensity of an already present stimulus immediately following a behavior that results in a decrease in the frequency of the behavior. And this definition is straight from the Cooper book. Um, Also, when we use positive punishment, an aversive event is added following a behavior and as a result decreases the behavior. Now I will discuss some of the tactics associated with positive punishment. The first tactic I will discuss is the reprimands. The reprimands is the delivery of verbal reprimands following the occurrence of misbehavior is an example of attempted positive punishment. So some of the ways of teaching reprimands is to, like, for example, only say it once to a student in a classroom versus stating it repeatedly. So if you state it repeatedly, this can create a problem, and the student might become accustomed to the increased frequency, and the reprimand will lose its effect as a punisher. Um, Also, most of the information I got from the Cooper book. Reprimands should be thought carefully and with combination of praise and attention contingent on the behavior. So meaning if the teacher used loud reprimands, for example, stop yelling to the student, then also there should be a combination of soft voice reprimands. It's important to avoid attention in the form of reprimand, as this can serve as reinforcement for students, which would cause the parent or the teacher to constantly use reprimand. All right, so there's reprimands. The second tactic I'm going to describe is overcorrection, and it's a behavior change tactic based on positive punishment in which contingent on the problem behavior the learner is required to engage in an effortful behavior that is directly or logically related to the problem. Also, I have this definition straight out the Cooper book, and overcorrection is the method used to decrease disruptive and maladaptive behaviors, as there are two forms of overcorrection, which are restitutional and positive practice. I will provide an example first of restitutional overcorrection. An example of Cooper uses, which I think is a great example and really easy to understand. For example, a child who repeatedly tracks mud onto the kitchen floor. This is a situation where a parent might require the child to first wipe the mud and clean his shoes, and then overcorrect his misbehavior by mopping and waxing the floor and cleaning his shoes. Positive practice overcorrection is contingent on the occurrence of a target behavior. The learner is required to repeat a correct form of the behavior or a behavior compatible with the problem a specified number of times. So, for example, if a child tracks mud into the house, the parents of the child might add a positive practice plan where the child practices wiping his feet on the outside doormat and enters the house for 2 minutes or 5 consecutive times. This would be example of positive practice overcorrection. And the last tactic I will describe is the self-injurious behavior inhibited and self-injurious behavior, and I will describe the CBIS. One of the most rigorously researched and carefully applied procedures for implementing punishment by electrical stimulation for self-inflicted blows to the head or face is the self-injurious behavior inhibiting system, which is the CBIS. Sometimes numerous treatments are tried without success, and this system is the only option when working with reducing problem behavior such as self-injury. Also, there are many ethical and moral issues surrounding the use of electrical versus stimulation, but sometimes it is the last resort for many children with self-injurious behavior, such as headbanging. And research has shown that self-injurious behaviors can be reduced by this system. Um, and I think those are all the tactics that I have, and that's it.